my channel. Today we are going to get into a few new brow products that Charlotte Tilbury launched on her website last week. And here's the thing, you guys. You all know that Charlotte Tilbury is one of my favorite brands. I don't think that's a secret anymore, right? It's one of my favorite brands. But also, brow products is kind of my thing. I am like obsessed with testing new brow products. Anytime there's a new brow product out on the market, if it looks interesting, I have to jump on and grab it, right? So when Charlotte launched this on her website, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to try this. I have to try this. So here we are. We're going to dive into the new products from Charlotte Tilbury, and then I'm going to show you guys how I use them. And then, of course, once we get through the applications and stuff, I will go ahead and get into my final thoughts. So the first product that we have that's new is her Brow Fix. This Brow Fix, it is a long-lasting hold with an invisible finish. It's a 24-hour wear, smudge-proof, humidity-proof, waterproof, and sweat-resistant. So this retails for $23. So it's just a clear brow gel. Then we have the Brow Cheat. This retails for $25, and it's a smaller pencil as her traditional formula. So this Brow Cheat is a micro precision eyebrow pencil with an angled tip to perfect and recreate the illusion of defined natural brow hairs. This comes in 8 different shades, which I did think that it had a pretty good variety of shades. Some of these brow products are launched with like 4 shades, and you're like, really? What am I supposed to do with 4 shades? So I do like how it has 8 shades. I chose the shade medium brown. This is a pretty good shade for me, I would say. I have really dark hair right now. I normally don't like my brows to be as dark as my natural hair, so I feel like this is a pretty good shade for where I'm at. So she also came out with a new formula of the Brow Lift. So this is $25, and this also comes in 8 shades, but this is a new formula. So the new formula, it's a cream wax refillable eyebrow pencil to fill, add shape, and structure to your brows. But you can see that the pencil on this is a little bit bigger than the one that is the micro. So let me show you the difference in these pencils. So you can see that they are definitely, this one is definitely bigger, as you can see, but this is refillable. I don't think the micro is refillable. Yeah, the micro is not refillable. This one is refillable. You just take out this and then you can just buy the refill. Then we have a new formula in the Legendary Brows. Now, I get into my experience with Legendary Brows. This used to be my all-time favorite brow product. This actually retails for $23, and this comes in 4 different shades. And I picked this up in soft brown, and I do feel like soft brown was a great shade for me. This is the new formula tinted brow gel with a micro precision brush to add texture and fullness, mimicking natural brow hairs. That is exactly what it is. This brow gel has been reformulated to add texture, feather, and fullness. I have innovated this micro precision brush to coat and define every brow hair, which is totally true, even baby hairs. 100% true. Where brows can sit flat. And this is water resistant, it stays in place all day, and it suits everyone, whether you have sparse, thick, faded, or thin brows. I have bottled the beauty secrets to supermodel brows in your ultimate brow formation at home. So that's kind of the 411 on this. So that's all the information about these new brow products from Miss Charlotte Tilbury. Let's go ahead and jump into the applications, and I will see you guys all in my final thoughts. Okay, so let's jump into these new brow products from Charlotte Tilbury. Talk about the new formula of the Legendary Brows. So this is the old formula. This used to be one of my favorite brow products when I was growing my brows out. So when I really didn't have a lot of hairs like right up into here, and it wasn't as full like right here in this area, this was one of my favorite products to use. In fact, if you go back to some of my really old videos when I first started YouTube, this is what I was using, because it was a little bit more of like a pomade, but in a thick gel formula. So this is how small the brush was, which is what I really liked about this product, is that the brush was very small and very easy to kind of get in and grab every single hair with this brush. But the formula was a little bit thick. And so it would just kind of fill it in some of those sparse areas. And it would also grab onto some of the really, really light hairs that I had and make my brows look a little fuller. However, as I began to grow my brows out, you know, I've been using a brow growth serum for like 2 years now. As I began to grow my brows out, that wasn't my favorite formula because it was too thick for a lot of hairs. So I discontinued using it because it was just a little bit too thick for more hairs. But when I had sparse brows, it was perfect. So the new formula, I'm very curious about. So the brush is the exact same size as the original, which that's what I was really happy about because the brush was amazing. So this one is the new one and this is the original. You can see that the brushes look exactly the same. So it's a thinner formula. So this is the new formula and it seems like it blends right out. And it's not thick at all. The old formula had a thickness to it. It kind of had a little bit of a moussey texture. That's a perfect word. So this is the old formula. You can see how it's just a little bit thicker. It's hard to see it, but I can feel it. So I'm actually really excited to try this. And I'm gonna run this through my brows, but I'm gonna wipe the brush off just to make sure that I don't get too much on the brush. I'm gonna run the brush through the brows. Then I'm just going to take a clean spoolie and then run it through the brow just to kind of make sure that there's nothing extra sitting on those brow hairs. So I think you can kind of see a difference, especially here in the front. I love the way that that brush grabbed onto those front hairs right here. And now I don't even feel like I need to put any type of pencil in that area. So this brush really grabbed those front pieces. This is a much thinner formula and much better than the original if you have a lot of brow hairs. If you're more sparse, you might have liked the original more. However, with that said, if you like the original formula, I think you'll probably like this one as well because it is still kind of her traditional brush. It applies the same. It's just a thinner formula. And I like the newer formula way better. In fact, I feel like at this point, I just need to add a little bit of something right through here. And my brow is pretty much done because it grabbed onto that product so well. So that's very impressive. This is the new tip for the new pencil. And I will show you what it looks like next to the original pencil from her. It is much smaller and I am very happy about that. So let me show you what those look like. So you can kind of see the tip. They're much, my camera always goes dark when I pull it up too far, but you can see that it's much smaller than the original. The original is here on the bottom. The new one is up here on the top. You can see that it's much smaller of a pencil. If you look at it directly on, they're both in that triangle. New one is smaller but it's still shaped in the triangle. I'm going to use the new one because this is definitely one that I prefer. I don't like the bigger one. I'm just going to go in and add just a little teeny bit right here in this area. The other thing that I do like about the Legendary Brows, which I can tell is in this formula, is that as I'm running my brush through my brows, I feel like they have a thickness to them that you really don't get with like just a regular clear brow gel. I mean, I don't know that I could complain about that. I mean, that looks really good. Okay, so next we're going to go in with the Brow Fix Clear Brow Gel. So this is just a clear brow gel, and let's check out the brush on this. Okay, so this is just a normal brush, just a normal spoolie here on the tip. So I'm going to dunk it in there. Now, it's going to take a lot for a brow gel to beat my 24-hour brow setter from Benefit. To date, I can't tell you how many brow gels I have tried. None of them hold my brows like the 24-hour brow setter. Absolutely nothing. I don't know how this will compare. I'm very curious. This might just be a very lightweight clear brow gel, which I do have a need for that in my brow routine. traditionally when I'm doing my brows, okay, besides using any of these products, the first thing I do is I go in with a clear brow gel. And I go in with a very lightweight clear brow gel, which the one that I really like is from Billion Dollar Brows, and it's the brow gel. It's very lightweight, and I kind of go through and clean up any foundation that's in there and kind of get the brows ready to go in with a pencil. So I run it through the brow, let it dry, and then I go in with my pencil, or sometimes I use the, lately I've been using the brow pencils from Huda Beauty, which is so good, by the way. The pencil is so tiny. You just have to be really careful not to break it off. So you don't want to put it out too far because you will break it. But then sometimes I'll use, like you guys know, I'm a huge fan of brow pens. So once that clear gel has dried, then I go in with the brow pencil, or I go in with like a brow pen. And then I set my brows with this, and it locks it all day long to the point where I don't have to ever worry about my brows. So it's gonna take a lot. We'll see what this does. So I'm gonna wipe off some of it because I don't like to put a lot on. I like to wipe off some of it and then go in with what's on the brush. So I'm just gonna kind of run this through, kind of set these brows in place. So at this point, I let this brow gel completely dry. And then once I can look and see if there's a sparse area, with my 24-hour brow setter, I can just go in with a pencil and kind of fill in that final gap without disrupting the brow gel. I love the way this looks. I love it. I'm going to say right now, based on feeling it, it doesn't feel quite like the 24-hour brow setter, because the 24-hour brow setter does kind of set it in place, and it is like budge proof. It just doesn't budge. And you can kind of feel that it's set. And this one might be more of a lightweight clear gel. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know that it's as durable as the 24-hour brow setter. Just by applying it and letting it dry, I still feel like I can kind of go in there and manipulate those hairs, where with my 24-hour brow setter, I wouldn't be able to spread brows apart because they kind of lock and stay in place. So I don't think that this brow gel is as strong of a hold as the 24-hour brow setter. So if you're somebody like me that loves this 24-hour brow setter because it locks and loads all day, then I think this might be a little bit more on the lightweight side. But if you're somebody that does not like the 24-hour brow setter because it's too much for you, you might like this brow fix because it is more lightweight. I definitely prefer the 24-hour brow setter. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do the other eye now. Okay, let's go ahead and get into my thoughts about these new brow products. I'm going to first start with the brow gel, the clear one. This is the Brow Fix. I feel like this is definitely not like a super holding brow gel, right? So like I mentioned in the application, this is not a 24-hour brow setter from Benefit. But I've heard people say, I don't like the 24-hour brow setter because it's just too much. It's just too, see, for me, it's perfect. But like, we all have different preferences, right? So I do like this formula, even though I don't feel like it's fully my 24-hour brow setter. This is a good brow gel. I can tell that it does just, it's a perfect brush, kind of perfect formula, and it's great, but I'm still going to be using my 24-hour brow setter. That's just the 411 on that. However, this will be something I am now reintroducing back into my routine, this Legendary Brows. This formula is a lot better than the original formula. Brush is perfect. It picks up every hair. It's not a thicker formula, and that's what I love about it. I'm going to start using this, and I think both of us can use it. Like those who have sparse brows and those who have more fuller brows. This is a fantastic product, and I love the new formula. I'm so glad she reformulated it. And it's not so thick and moussey. It's a little bit thinner of a formula, but still has that amazing brush that grabs every hair. And it gives the right amount of tint, but it's not chunky. It has no chunk to it. fantastic formula. She nailed it. Now the pencils I think are great too. I think it all is going to depend on whether you like a thicker pencil, that's the spoolie side, whether you like a thicker pencil or you like a thinner pencil. It's been my experience when I didn't have a lot of brows, I used a thicker pencil because I could cover more landscape, right? But now that I have gotten more brow hairs to grow in, you know, after tweezing them to death back in the 90s, this pencil, the smaller pencil, is better for me. I don't like a thicker pencil, but I used to use a thicker pencil. So I think it all depends, but I think it's a great formula. I really do. And I am not complaining about it at all. And I think for me, this is what she needed. She needed a smaller pencil because I used to use her pencil, but it's just gotten too big now and I just don't use it. So she needed a smaller pencil in her great formula because it is a really good long-lasting formula, and I'm really glad she came out with the micro versions. Those are my thoughts on these new Charlotte Tilbury products. Sound out down below in the comment section. Let us know how you are feeling about these new brow products. Now, if any of you out there in the audience have bought these brow products, share your experience with us on what you liked and what you didn't like, if you loved it, if you didn't. Share with us in the comment section down below your thoughts on these. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me in today's video. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Love you. Bye.